Thank you, Professor Sen. It is now our honor to introduce Mr. Eric Lashka, Executive Director for the American Coalition for Filipino Veterans.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, on behalf of our families and members of the American Coalition for Filipino Veterans, I'm really honored to be here before you all to participate in this solemn event. Thank you to Ms. Jenny Nguyen and her fellow leaders for hosting us on this memorable day. As the son of a Filipino World War II veteran, I'm honored to introduce to you our few remaining heroes, our Filipino World War II veterans, here this afternoon. I'd like to have our heroes stand up for a minute or two to be introduced. I'd like to have Mr. Celestino Almeida, our youngest, that's only 97 years old. Mr. Almeida, raise your hand. All right. All right. And Mr. Almeida was also in the Vietnam War. He fought as a civilian contract employee at Tuan Phui, you know, in the PX. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Jesse Baltazar, Major Jesse Baltazar, who also was in Vietnam after fighting in World War II. Jesse. All right. Jesse was a Bataan Corregidor defender. He marched the Bataan Death March and survived it, and he was a POW. So I'm glad that he's here. He's only 95 years old. And our youngest Filipino World War II veteran, Mr. Rudy Panaglima. Raise your hand, Rudy. Okay. He was also a guerrilla, runner in World War II. Thank you, our heroes. Salamat po, as they say. I'd like to say on this day, I'd like to honor my cousin, or I should say my uncle, distant uncle, Mr. John Lachica, U.S. Army, formerly of San Diego. His name is inscribed on the wall on panel 23. I'm honored to be here to honor him and his comrades on this day. I'd just like to I was very lucky to spend my Christmas vacation in Saigon with my dad, who worked for Air America and Vietnam Airlines as a civilian flight engineer. We motorbiked and explored the beautiful streets of Saigon, shopped the beautiful markets, visited exotic restaurants on my dad's Yamaha. I was glad to discover French Vietnamese cooking, baguettes, and filet mignon. That was my first time to have filet mignon. Was in Saigon. And to admire our young maidens in their beautiful flowing ao dais, right? Ao dais, the dress. Sadly, however, I saw also firsthand the ravages of the Vietnam War. The enormous devastation caused by massive bombs, creating craters in the rice fields of the Mekong Delta. At night, I watched tracer bullets rain from the sky and heard muffled explosions keeping us awake. We are here gathered today to honor the sacrifice and bravery of the Vietnamese people and Americans in that terrible war. As children of soldiers, we are all war victims. We realize that our fight for our freedoms and our national interest will cost us a great price to our families. We saw the great suffering in the 60s and 70s. We must seek now to avoid future wars by peaceful means, through diplomatic means, economic sanctions, through united actions, to bravely stand up together as Vietnamese Americans, as Filipino Americans, as Asian Americans, to challenge acts of imperialistic aggression. Unfortunately, recently by our great neighbor in Asia. The world has seen China's shameless reclamation of Philippine islands, reefs, destructions of marine ecosystems to build oil and gas and military bases in Southeast Asian seas. We had a conversation with Mr. Almeida, with Senator Webb about this issue. He said, we Americans, Asian Americans, should stand together to stand up to bullying in Asia. I'm glad that he may be a candidate, right, for president, as been mentioned before, to raise this issue of China's aggressive actions against her neighbors. President Obama, President Aquino of the Philippines have recently made statements challenging China's bullying. We appeal to our Vietnamese American allies, to our Malaysians in America, our Brunei, our Indonesians in America, to join us to protest. We must oppose China's aggression. Let us go forth from this memorial and celebrate May Asian American Heritage Month, which is, I think, tomorrow, right? So, and we'll have to bring our friends, especially of Japan, to urge President Obama to call out, to challenge President of China, Xi Jinping, to stop reclamation of Philippine islands, occupation of Vietnamese islands, to immediately withdraw back to their 200-mile exclusive zone, and to end the harassment of our Vietnamese and Filipino fisherfolk who are earning their daily living. Could you believe them driving away Vietnamese and Filipino fishermen from their traditional fishing grounds? That is happening right now as we speak. To this end, we must commit ourselves to persuade our friends in the United States Senate, Congress, to question the value of President Xi Jinping's forthcoming state visit in September by the White House, at the White House. We have to discourage the U.S. Congress and Senate to offer the Chinese president a chance to speak before the U.S. Congress. We must shame China for its aggressive actions against Southeast Asian neighbors. We must prepare in the next 4 months. We have to bring out our friends from the Falun Gong, from the Malaysian community, our Indonesian friends, our Japanese American friends, to show the world, to show President Obama that President Xi Jinping is not welcome here in Washington and in America. We must protest. We must act together. We say no to China's aggression. We say no welcome to President Xi Jinping. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lashka. Now it is our honor to introduce Dr. Charles Lee, spokesperson for the Global Service Center for quitting the Chinese Communist Party.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Ginny Wen, and also thank you all veterans over here and honored guests. I would like to pay my salute to all these veterans who fought the Vietnam War. The fall of Saigon was a tragedy, but if we recall, 2 years before that time, that President Nixon went into bed with the Communist China, and it kicked out the Republic of China out of the United Nations, and then got the communist China into the United Nations. So then, there's a chaos inside the political arena in this country. Then Vietnam War failed. So the problem is that a lot of people people cannot understand the evilness of the Communist Party, and especially the Communist Party in China. They are the most evil, the state terrorist criminal group in the human history. They have done so many evil things, including causing more than 80 million Chinese people to death. And also, recently, they have been persecuting Falun Gong practitioners, as Professor Nia just talked about. They harvest the organs of the practitioners out when they are alive. However, there's a solution, which is the Treaty movement. Treaty movement is the quitting the Communist Party membership and also the Communist Youth League and Young Pioneer. Right now, we have more than 200 million people inside China who have quit these organizations, and this is the fundamental change that will change China and also will change Vietnam and will change the rest of the world. Only when the Communist Party is not running China can we also have peace. Eric just talked about the aggression by the Communist Party in the Southeast Asia. The only hope we have is that the Communist Party is disintegrated in China, then we will have a non-communist China in the world. So we hope that everybody will learn this movement and give support to this movement, and let's strive towards the world without communism altogether. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. I heard that there's 200 million Chinese already renounced the Communist Party in China. Thank you for Dr. Lee's work.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Now we would like to introduce Mr. Dieu Cai Nguyen Van Hai, founder of the Vietnamese Free Press Club and a dissident of the Vietnamese Communist Party.
Thay mặt cho các thành viên của câu lạc bộ Nhà báo Tự do, chúng tôi xin gửi lời tri ân đến những anh hùng liệt sĩ đã hy sinh vì cái cuộc chiến và đem lại tự do, dân chủ. Ngày tưởng niệm 40 năm sau cuộc chiến Việt Nam là dịp thích hợp nhất để chúng ta cùng đến đứng trước bức tường tưởng niệm và nhớ lại sự hy sinh của các vị đã cống hiến đời mình và không hề đòi hỏi điều gì cho bản thân. Những tử sĩ đã anh dũng hy sinh mà tên được khắc ghi trên đài tưởng niệm và những người hôm nay có mặt ở đây cùng chúc. Đó là lý tưởng hy sinh, lý tưởng cống đời mình cho một mục đích lớn hơn chính cuộc đời mình. Nếu của quý vị xưa kia là để ngăn chặn sự bành trướng của chủ nghĩa cộng sản trên đất nước Việt Nam, thì lý tưởng của chúng tôi ngày hôm nay là mang đến tự do thật sự, mang đến quyền làm người, trong đó có quyền tự do ngôn luận, tự do báo chí tại Việt Nam. Chúng tôi tin hương hồn của quý vị sẽ phù hộ chúng tôi để chúng ta cùng đạt được mục đích chung. Về phần mình, chúng tôi nguyện sẽ hết sức cố gắng để đạt được sứ mệnh của mình, cũng như là đạt được mục đích chung của chúng ta. Xin cảm ơn tất cả quý vị.
I'm asking for his permit to quickly translate into English. This is a very new speech, but it's touching me very deeply. Mr. Dieu Cai Nguyen Van Hai was the founder of the Vietnamese Free Press Club, and just because of that, he was convicted, he was jailed and transferred to over 18 different prisons, and he eventually was made to immediately leave Vietnam to come here before the Vietnamese Communist government tried to get agreement with the US government in the TPP. So what Mr. Điếu Cày Nguyễn Văn Hải said today, I would like to translate quickly. Today, I am, which is Điếu Cày. It's very honored to be here. And I felt that the spirit of all the fallen heroes are here with me today. You have fought for an idealistic reason. You have sacrificed your own body and not asking for anything in return. And your mission actually has helped to sustain South Vietnam and many other parts of the world to continue freedom and democracy. Today, Mr. Điếu Cày Nguyễn Văn Hải and his friends in the Free Press Club, the Vietnamese Free Press Club, felt that they share the same idealistic path. He would promise to continue the path to bring about freedom of speech and democracy for Vietnam. Thank you. My translation is quick and it's not quite right, but I hope the main idea is there. Thank you, and Điếu Cày.
To introduce Master Tung Din, 6th-degree black belt from Murray, Kentucky, to tell us about the tribute he has been performing in commemoration of April 30th, 1975.
Today, good morning, and again, thank you, the Boy of Vietnam, for giving me this opportunity. I just want to share you my little story for the last 48 hours, starting on Monday at 3 p.m. to 7 a.m. on Wednesday. My son, Christian Dien, give him a big hand. And myself, we performed 40-hour continuous sit-up, and we performed a total of 58,282 sit-up for each name on the Vietnam War to honor their sacrifice for their freedom. Please give them a big hand. And again, some of you might say, man, I can only do maybe about 10 sit-up. I promise you, when you talk about freedom, it would take a whole meaning. So that's why when I get up to about 20,000, I feel like my stomach just run over by a bus. But then I look on the flag and see the American flag. Can you imagine see the American flag draped on the coffin of those soldiers that died? What an honor for us just to recognize them, just to honor for a moment. My pain can only be temporary for those people that die. But they died for a cause for freedom. And again, the American and all always take it for granted. So again, I just want to take this moment, just an honor to be here speaking with you, and especially my son. I don't give him enough credit, because without him, I can only do 40,000, but with him, he can do 18,282, and we add them together, father and son. I'm from Vietnamese. I came here on April 25th, 1975, when I was 12-year-old. And now with him, we're able to accomplish a very great mission. And please, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sacrifice.
Can you do some sit-ups?
Okay, I tried in my hotel and I couldn't do, but I think for you guys, we're going to do 10 just for you guys.
Okay. Where the TV? And this is what we do for 40 hours. When we get to use the bathroom every time in an hour, I get 1,000 sit-ups, and I get to go to the bathroom.
Sit up.
And
Like that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So we're asking for donation, whoever asked them to do it. The donation would go to the Vietnam warriors, right?
Yeah, each sit-up will go to the Military Warrior Support Foundation. You have two choices, either do 100 or you can give $1. But I think everyone will give $1 for sure. Thank you again, and thank you so much.
For Missy, we'll take 100. At this time, this is very special. I would like to invite Mike to come up and your whole team. These are the men who stay with Saigon to the last minute. helping in many different ways. Let's give them a round of applause. They are true heroes, and we are very lucky that our heroes are still here with us today, strong in good spirit.
Hi, I'm Corporal Mike Dalrymple, La Puente, California. This is Jimmy Sanchez of New Braunfels, Texas. This is Carl Stroud of Evansville, Indiana. Gary Dave of Huntsville, Alabama. Ray Fawcett of New Hampshire. And Billy Carmichael somewhere out there, and he's from Stockton, California. We are Marines from the 3rd Platoon Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 9th Marine Regiment. And on the 25th of April 1975, we were aboard the USS Hancock, and we were flown into Saigon in civilian clothes with Air America. We spent the 5 days there assisting the embassy security detachment. As we were keeping security of the compound, they were inside the embassy performing their duties. We were finally extracted on the 29th of April, and were relieved by the 4th Marines approximately 1630 or 1600 on the 29th of April of 75. We are, and we always will be, considered the last infantry platoon to be in combat in Vietnam. Thank you. One last thing, we were under the command of First Lieutenant Bruce Thompson Bowers. Thank you.
We actually have a very special guest now. It's our honor to introduce Mr. Karma Gyaltsen, a Tibetan performing artist. Mr. Gyaltsen is going to perform some traditional Tibetan music for us today.
This is the essence of the culture of Tibet, which is truly under threat now. We need to support him, and we need to look for what Vietnam and other countries has to do to avoid what happened to Tibet.
Thank you very much to the organizers. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and show the solidarity to the heroes, those who fight for freedom and human rights and democracy. We Tibetans also facing same problem under the communists. Unfortunately, from 2009, so far, 137 Tibetans self-immolated. What they demand is, they need freedom. They need Dalai Lama to see, come back to home. That's all. So it's my really privilege and very great honor to participate. Our same goal and respect to these heroes, those who fight for freedom. Right now, I'm not going to say much, so I'm going to sing some Tibetan folk songs for offering song for our heroes and heroines, and still who are fighting for freedom in this world. The first song is called Lu, from eastern part of Tibet. When I sing this song, please imagine that mountains and rivers and vast pastures and streams follows, and high and clean mountains. The riding on the horse and full of flowers. So imagine like that.
Can you hear my
Thank you. So the next one is a song from eastern part of Tibet. The instrument name is fiddle. We call piwang. So in Tibet we have called so many variety of songs. The people singing and dancing sometime at the bonfire and spending whole night competition dance between male and females. And this is one of that. So I hope you enjoy. hand. So ya la ne te tang bo ye me la sa cha ye shi ya so ya de lo ne te ni ba ye me la sa cha ye. Thank you. The next song, I'm going to play with Tibetan lute called Danyem. This instrument is traditional Tibetan instrument. It's made of rhododendron tree and skin and 6 strings. And we Tibetan have got so many style of playing Tibetan lute. This is one of the Tibetan folk music from western part of Tibet called Akupema. Lend me your hand. Akupema ye ke thangara tongi ye gen chenai ya puna gungi gen chire Akupema ye ma panarori gen chire muya Chemena chati to hare Akupema ye Chemena to hare Akupema ye Changang pasiki shodo jenma ye Ya puna pongi ge chire Akupema ye ma pa tsone ge chire buya Chemena soka tong bahare Akupema ye Chemena soka tong bahare Akupema ye Shara tongi sogo jenmai che sona di ke chire Akupema ye na yo na di ke chire moya che mena isi to Thank you very much. Say Tibetan words, good luck means Trashi Delhi. Trashi Delhi.
Chúng ta là nước Việt Nam Cộng Hòa hoặc dân quân kháng chiến. Chúng ta luôn luôn nào không quên ơn tất cả các quân đội đồng minh và chiến sĩ Hoa Kỳ đã tham chiến tại Việt Nam. Và chúng ta luôn luôn nào cũng tưởng nhớ vì trong lịch sử Việt Nam Cộng Hòa vẫn còn ở trong lịch sử và chiến tranh của Việt Nam là chưa chấm dứt. Dạ, xin chào quý vị.
come to this ceremony. And myself, very touched when I see you again. Without your help, Vietnam, South Vietnam have fallen much before April 75. And from my heart, I'd like to say thank you and really appreciate for your services, for your sacrifice, your time, your sweat, your blood, and for the freedom of my people, my home country. I know a lot of you some of you in POW camp, like myself. We have suffered a lot. But God bless us. So we never lost the Vietnam War. But we have gotten a big victory ever in our history. Because if not, Vietnam War have leave behind a lot of lessons learned. So the generation after Vietnam War have learned a lot and to do a lot all over the world. In Afghanistan, in Iraq, and now we have to cope with ISIS. The Vietnam lesson learned a great deal, and we have not learned enough to apply for the future. So you and us very proud of the time we served in Vietnam. People, American over the world have recognized what we have sacrificed in Vietnam. Thank you very much.
I think that young people aren't really generally expected to have much to say here. And I think in general, young people, I think a lot of us are viewed as not really having a lot of thoughts about this kind of stuff. But growing up as a Vietnamese American, I grew up with the pain that my parents went through and what they saw in Vietnam, and you know, I'm thankful for the service that American soldiers have put forward. Freedom to me, the privilege that I have to go to school. I went to school in New York University. The privileges that I have to follow my own passions. I studied film. You know, like those sort of artistic passions, or writing, or comedy, acting, whatever things that we're interested in as Americans. I think a lot of us take that for granted. But me being a Vietnamese American, I know that we shouldn't. I know that there are a lot of things that came to pass that allowed me to have the opportunities that I have now. So when people talk about freedom in America, and when they talk about the soldiers serving in America, I think about it. You know, they think about freedom. I think we throw the word freedom around a lot in America. And freedom for me and my family, talking about the relatives that we have back home in Vietnam and the people that we've left behind, freedom is not a buzzword or a punchline in my family. Freedom is something that we cherish very much. So we love this country very much. We're grateful for all the people that made it possible for us to be able to
name's Johnny Yennison, and I'm here with the Military Warriors Support Foundation. And I'd just like to let you know, thank you. And it's, a lot of our members are here supporting Master Tong and his efforts. I don't know if you really got this whole sit-up thing and why this involves honoring such an honorable day. But what he was trying to express was the amount of pain that the war brought. And actually, the other side of that, as well as the POWs, Senator McCain will be here, and some of our Medal of Honor winners, Leo Thorson, who I've gotten to meet and talk to me about Hanoi prison, both in the jungles and both when it was moved into Hanoi itself. There's certainly some great South Vietnamese officers here today that had personal experience with that. And we're trying to honor the fact that freedom came from those sacrifices. And Master Tong was trying to express the pain of that time, as well as the pain that was avoided, that has us 1.5 million South Vietnamese survivors now as United States citizens. And those I don't know how many sit-ups you guys can do, but I know how many I do when the pain starts. And between he and his son, they did 58,282 sit-ups to represent every fallen hero that's on the wall, the Vietnam Wall to our left here. One of the reasons he did that was to express his feelings. He is himself a survivor. 2 days before the fall, he and his family were brought over by U.S. troops, and his father's life was saved as a result of that. One of the things that he did all that for was that he's raising money for the Military Warriors Support Foundation. And let me just tell you something. Ken, will you come up here? Ken, will you come up for just a minute? This is our director, Ken Eakes, who's allowed me to be a part and honored me as a volunteer. Thank you for joining us. And he just flew in from New York City on a business and heard that this was going on and scheduled his travel to get here. And why the funds are important that Master Tong was raising is we have we award mortgage-free homes along with a great mentoring program, and that program is open to Vietnam veterans as well that have been wounded in one way or the other fighting for the freedoms that we're here to protect today. So I want to thank Master Tong for his efforts in doing the 58,000 sit-ups along with his son Chris. It's an honor to be part of this, Jeannie. I want to thank you for your efforts in all of this. What a wonderful spirit you have, and it represents, I believe, the spirit of the Vietnam survivors that have come here and made this great country of great grace. Just honored by having you part of our country, and thank you very, very much. I think we all owe Jeannie a great hand. And Ken, would you like to say a word or two?
I promise I'm not going to talk as long as Johnny. Johnny's a better talker than I am. I like to just get the work done. It's an honor for me to be here. I grew up in Vietnam with a Vietnam warrior as my stepdad, who was a Marine, and we went through a lot of the difficult situations, as was mentioned earlier here today, after he returned. But it also prompted me later in life to begin to help to develop programs to help returning veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan. Johnny mentioned that we've recently expanded our program for Vietnam veterans too. We have about 30 mortgage-free houses right now in different parts of the country to award. So if you do know somebody, please just go to militarywarriors.org and have them apply. We've been, by the grace of God, we've been able to donate over $200 million of homes to warriors in 43 states, and we aren't done. We still have much work to do. There's still many things to do. So thanks for letting me be here again. I don't even feel like I deserve to be on the stage with some of the other people that have spoken, so thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Jeannie. Well, so far today we have talked about a past war. On the other hand, we're now in the 21st century, and there's many challenges that are facing our nation, the United States of America and its allies in the South China Sea. In fact, since our Filipino friends are here, Eric, I'd like to inform you about the fact that last March the 27th, we organized a conference on the South China Sea in Manila, and Celia Lamkin of the U.S. Pinoy for Good Governance, and Jay Batong Bakal of the Institute for Maritime Law and Conflict, and also former Representative Roylo Goles were there, and the Vietnamese and the Filipino talk about the current threat by China in the South China Sea, especially in the Spratly. And so we try to organize a kind of alliances between the Filipino and the Vietnamese, because we are the frontline countries that are facing the Chinese communist threat with all their construction in the Spratly Islands, and therefore I think there's a need for us to get together, to stay together, to work together, so that we can effectively push back the Chinese threat in Southeast Asia. And I think that in here we also have allies in our Chinese friends, like the Falun Gong people. They are also not interested in seeing Chinese take over Southeast Asia. And so that's why I would like to take advantage of this moment to share with you some of the things that we are working on in order to meet the challenge of the 21st century. Thank you very much.
Updating us on our concerted efforts to work against Chinese bullying in our Southeast Asian Sea. Yes, I work with the U.S. Filipinos for Good Governance, the U.S. Pinoys, USPGG, and in fact we had a teleconference last night, and we discussed what ways we can mobilize our communities to put pressure to shame China from to back down from to withdraw from the invasion, the occupation of Vietnamese and Philippine territory. So we welcome suggestions. I think we should have regular meetings every 2 weeks, teleconferences, so we can organize our outreach efforts, especially in May. There's so many festivals in this city, so we should do like a table, information sharing with our less informed community leaders. We should also have other rallies in different cities. I was in LA just yesterday. I had a conversation with the Philippine Consul General about trying to get the Consul General to host a panel discussion on the situation in the Southeast Asian seas, and he's very supportive. We're doing that. A week before I was in San Francisco. We tried to meet with the Vietnamese Consul General. He was not available, to let him know that the Vietnamese government should work closely with the Philippine government so they have coordinate actions, especially with the maritime patrols, especially with the ongoing, I think today is the last day for the joint U.S. military, Philippine, Australian military exercises in Palawan, in Zambales province of the Philippines. So we have many of our reporters covering the event in the Philippines. Our leaders in San Francisco and New York are working with your colleagues in the Bay Area and New York, New Jersey area. So I'm glad we had friends here from the Falun Gong, Tibetan, and other communities. I think we should have a meeting right away. Hopefully, by the way, I'd like to introduce some of our leaders here. Besides our veterans, we have Mitzi Picard with the U.S. Filipinos. Mitzi, could you stand? All right, where's Priscilla? You know, let's say thank you they've been at our rallies, at the protesting China's bullying at the Chinese embassy. So we will work with you, and hopefully we can pinpoint where the senator is right now, so he can join us on the stage. So I think we should meet right away this weekend, the leaders with Jenny and Professor Vic and our friends from the Catholic U, Falun Gong, so we can map out a calendar of events, a schedule on a weekly basis, because May will be very busy. Like I was telling the professor from Catholic U, you know, on May 12th, there's going to be a White House Asian American Community Town Hall meeting here at George Washington University. I think we should be there. I anticipate that I think the First Lady may show up at the event on May 12th, and our leaders from different parts of California and New York, New Jersey will be here from the Filipino American community. I think we should have a rally in front of the George Washington University building, right, at the Listener Auditorium at lunchtime, to show that the Asian American community leaders are really serious making President Xi Jinping unwelcome here in Washington. So I invite our Vietnam vets to join us on May 12th at the Listener Auditorium outside. I think that might be a good venue to show our flags, our banners, that we should join our pro-democracy Chinese Americans, our Democrats and Republicans against tyranny in Southeast Asia. So with that, I'd like to turn over the mic back. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So we have plenty of things to work together on that. And in fact, one of the things that I'm so glad I heard Eric say, Southeast Asia Sea, because if we can call it that, it belongs to all of us in Southeast Asia, not to the Chinese. Yeah. Okay. So while waiting for Senator McCain, may I show you, my Filipino friends, my friendship to you by singing Bahay Kubo dahil makunti makalaban dugo malumalaki sikamo sikaro sikaritsa sa paghimataya makani.
Trong bóng chiều một đoàn quân thấp thoáng, núi cây rừng lắng tiếng nghe hình dáng của người anh hùng lạnh lùng theo trong dồn trên khu đồi hoang im trong chiều buông. Ra biên khu trong một chiều sương âm u âm thầm trên khói mù, bao oan khiên đang về đây hú với gió là hồn người Nam nhớ thù.
Khi ra đi đã quyết chi nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiên còn vang.
Hồn quật cường người mang đến phút chiến thắng, sầu hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trầm vai sắt thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người chiến sĩ vô danh.
Chi nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiêng còn vang.
Hồn quật cường nguyện mang đến phút chiến thắng, sầu hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trầm phai sắc thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người chiến sĩ vô danh. Mở trong chiều, một đoàn quân thấp thoáng núi cây rừng, lắng tiếng nghe hình dáng của người anh hùng, lạnh lùng theo trong rồn trên khu đồi hoang, im trong chiều buông.
Ra biên khu trong một chiều sương âm u, âm thầm trên khói mù.
Bao oan khiên đang về đây hú với gió, là hồn người Nam nhớ thù.
Khi ra đi đã quyết chi nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiên còn vang.
Hồn quật cường người mang đến phút chiến thắng, sầu hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trầm vai sắt thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người chiến sĩ vô danh.
Đã quyết chi nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiêng còn vang.
Hồn quật cường nguyện mang đến phút chiến thắng, sầu hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trầm phai sắc thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người chiến sĩ vô danh. Mờ trong bóng chiều, một đoàn quân thấp thoáng núi cây rừng, lắng tiếng nghe hình dáng của người anh hùng, lạnh lùng theo trong rồn trên khu đồi hoang, im trong chiều buông.
Ra biên khu trong một chiều sương âm u, âm thầm trên khói mù.
Bao oan khiên đang về đây hú với gió, là hồn người Nam nhớ thù.
Khi ra đi đã quyết chi nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiên còn vang.
Hồn quật cường người mang đến phút chiến thắng, sầu hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trầm vai sắt thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người chiến sĩ vô danh.
Quyết chi nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiêng còn vang.
Hồn quật cường nguyện mang đến phút chiến thắng, sầu hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trầm phai sắc thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người chiến sĩ vô danh. Mờ trong bóng chiều, một đoàn quân thấp thoáng núi cây rừng, lắng tiếng nghe hình dáng của người anh hùng, lạnh lùng theo trong rồn
trên khu đồi hoang im trong chiều buông. Ra biên khu trong một chiều sương âm u, âm thầm trên khói mù. Bao oan khiên đang về đây hú với gió, là hồn người nam nhớ thù. Khi ra đi đã quyết chỉ nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiên còn vang. Hồn quật cường người mang đến phút chiến thắng, sau hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trồng vai sắt thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người chiến sĩ vô danh. Quyết chỉ nuôi căm hờn, muôn lời thiêng còn vang. Hồn quật cường người mang đến phút chiến thắng, sau hận đời lấp tan. Gươm anh linh đã bao lần vây máu, còn xác xây thành thời gian nuông vô tình. Rừng trầm phai sắc thấp thoáng tàn canh, ôi người